Hi, thanks for listening to the Kick Your Boots Up podcast. I'm Taylor McAdams, and this week's episode is one that you want to listen. Stay tuned to hear the stories behind the inaugural class, some of the inaugural class of the Utah Cowgirl Collective. We get to meet none other than the trail boss for the Cowgirl Collective, Dee Dee Hill. She grew up in Wichita, Kansas, now calls herself a Utah Cowgirl, and she's the director of ticketing for the Utah Days of 47 Rodeo. Dee Dee, thank you for being here. I can't wait to hear your story.
Well, thank you for having us. We're excited to share our stories with you.
Of course. And before we begin and jump right into it, we've got to introduce the other two Cowgirls here on the screen, 2 of 6 of the Utah Cowgirl Collective. And like I said, they're the inaugural class. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Emma Stowe from Taylorsville, Utah. She's a certified equine massage therapist. She loves writing and journalism, and her rodeo role model is Pam Minnick, and I can't wait to dive into there. But currently, she is pursuing a vet tech degree. So, Emma, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And next up on the list is Sayge Madsen. She's from Morgan, Utah. She's working towards a vet tech certificate. She's a photographer in all her free time, which probably doesn't exist. And she does beadwork. And her rodeo role model is Jackie Crawford. She's currently a vet tech and a nail tech. So she's got a lot going on, a lot of irons in the fire, and that is truly the Cowgirl way. Sayge, thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having us.
So as we get started into this podcast episode, I know there's so many people out there that want to know more about your stories and how you got to where you are today. So I don't know if we want to start with you, Dee Dee, but tell us about yourself and your background, your upbringing into the rodeo industry.
Well, grew up in Kansas. My mother grew up on a big cattle ranch in New Mexico, but when we moved to Wichita, my dad was in the Air Force. We didn't have access to horses, and I was kid crazy. Well, motorcycles too. So they bought me a horse so they didn't have to buy me a motorcycle. And I started running barrels in high school and in college, and kind of got out of it, went to reining in the working cow horse. And then I came out to Salt Lake City to do ticketing for the Olympics, and through our ticketing company got involved with the Days of 47 Rodeo, and actually got involved with working cow horse. And when Tommy Joe Lucia came to me with these ideas about the Utah Cowgirl Collective, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the best thing ever. I was so excited about it. I mean, horses are my passion, Western lifestyle, so it was perfect.
Oh, yeah. And I love that. I love how your life and your upbringing kind of prepared you for where you are now. So even though you were doing the Salt Lake City Olympics, you got to just jump right into it, put your boots back on and go from there. And that's a cool story that I can't wait to dig into later. But Emma, I'm curious about you. You know, you have a lot going on. You're currently pursuing a vet tech degree. Your future's bright. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So I started riding when I was 8 years old, but I've grown up with horses. My grandparents had horses, and my dad hunted off of horses. So I've grown up around them and just knew what I wanted to do. And so I grew up in 4-H, and 4-H has made me who I am today. If I didn't have 4-H, I would not be here. But I've always wanted to become a vet, but specialize in the legs only. And so I met this lady here in Utah who's an equine physical therapist. And she basically does what I wanted to do, just with less schooling. So you don't have the vet title, but that's where I really found my love, was rehabilitating horses and making them feel great without pushing meds and doing the holistic approach. So I enjoy it.
That's really inspirational. And I think one thing that brings the two of you and Sayge together is that you're both very passionate about animals. Sayge is a vet tech, so there's a lot to learn there too. And so Sayge, before we move on, I want to get to know a little bit more about you also, and how you kind of got involved with the Cowgirl Collective as well.
So like you said, I grew up in Morgan. We've had horses my whole life. I started to really rodeo when I was 12 in some junior associations. Then I started with the UHSRA, competed on like a state level, and then was able to compete on a national level after that. Kind of got into the rodeo photography. My brothers are rough stock riders, and they're always looking for pictures. So kind of got into that world. Just the Western lifestyle, and the Utah Cowgirl Collective really just amplifies the love of the Western lifestyle and the culture that we have.
It really does. And I've got to give a shout out to the National High School Rodeo Association kids competing, also all the ones that competed on their states. That's really huge. And one thing that jumped out to me about you, Sayge, was that, and the fact that you were so close. I think, was it 2016 that you were like top 5 at nationals?
It was 2016. I was fortunate enough to be in the top 5.
Wow. And see what a cool thing. I can relate to that so much too, being older and aged out of high school, obviously, and always being able to have that piece of history with you and in your heart. So that's cool. And you're definitely bringing it into the Cowgirl Collective. So very nice. Obviously, if you're listening out there, there are 3 incredible women here. We're going to go ahead and dive right into it because I have so many questions about the Utah Cowgirl Collective. First of all, we've got to give a huge shout out to Tommy Joe Lucia. What an incredible man, but an incredible person to come up with the idea. And I feel like he's just a big ball of energy that you want to be backing something. So I guess Dee Dee and the girls, you guys can just make this a conversation. I want to know about how this all got started and then how you guys were able to go from the 24 to the 6. I think somewhere in there was like 13 that got to come back. Tell us about the whole process and how this all came about.
So Tommy, Joe, and I have been talking about different charitable contributions that we can do, giving back to the community, which is part of the Utah Days of 47. And I'm really passionate because having lived in Utah now for 26 years and watching it grow, we're losing so much ground. You know, it used to be everybody had a horse in the backyard. There were plenty of stables for people to ride, and they're not anymore. And I want to make sure that in the Salt Lake Valley, there is a place where kids can go ride. There's one place now, and that's about it. I mean, it's a public facility that only offers riding. So long-term goal is to make sure that every kid that wants to have an opportunity to ride a horse can get on one, because Utah State's going to become a vet school, I think, next year. They have an equine program. And Emma was just telling me that the 4-H actually has a horse program for kids that don't have horses. You know, I was a kid that was in the back of the car that, you know, when I saw a horse go by down the road, that I would have my face pressed against the glass. So I want to make sure every kid that wants on a horse gets the opportunity. So Tommy Joe just kind of one day came to me and said, I want to do this. And we started down the road on it. And you ask about the judging, it was tough because honestly, we were a little frightened. What if nobody applies? You know, what if nobody that we like applies? And then we started getting all the applications, and we did hours of Zoom interviews to narrow it down. And then there was 3 of us, and then we made our selection. And I have to tell you, our selections, we all used a different process, right? We didn't have a traditional score thing, but we all came up with pretty much the same finalists that came down for the tryouts. So it was tough, but there's not one of these, there's every one of these girls on our team were girls that I think I would have been friends with when I was in high school.
I love that outlook and that perspective. And coming from both Emma and Sayge, I want to hear your outlook on it too, because you maybe didn't know that there was 24 in the beginning, or maybe you did, but anyways, talk us through that process too, because that's a lot. 24 is a lot. And then to be able even to be part of the 13 that got to come and ride in person and look and do the interview and stuff like that. Tell us about your perspective, girls, on that part of it.
Sayge, you can start if you want.
So, like, we applied, we had the Zoom interviews, and it was good to get to know those on the board and just kind of talk with them for a moment, get to know a little bit more about the Utah Cowgirl Collectives. And then they selected the 13 to come back for the working interviews. We had to ride, we had to be able to work cows, we had interviews, we had a dinner social. And just through all of that, you got to see the different types of Western lifestyles. Not everybody's Western lifestyle is the same. Everybody comes from different backgrounds. And just to see everybody come together to celebrate the culture that we have, the heritage that we celebrate, it was just so awesome to be able to see all those girls to come together, to meet new faces, and even girls that are not in the Cowgirl collectives. Like, we still stay in contact, and we formed a sisterhood.
Yeah, I agree. I think each one of us cowgirls brings a different type of cowgirl to the team.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more there. And hearing that about that sisterhood is good. And I mean, this is early. You guys have only just been selected. So over time, and especially in the next few weeks with the rodeo coming up, you guys are going to be so bonded. And kind of going before we talk about more of the rodeo and everything you're going to be doing there, I kind of want to go through the basically what happened when you guys learned that you were on the team. A, how did it feel and what was going through your head when that happened? But then B, what was it like getting trained up by Tommy Joe and Dee Dee and kind of getting to learn the ropes of what the inaugural class of the Cowgirl Collective would look like? I don't know who wants to start, but whoever.
Well, let me just, before they start, let me tell you, we are a work in progress. we're finding our way, and it's fun, right? Because we came with thoughts and concepts, and it's kind of nice to have them helping us cement it. So now I'm going to let Sayge and Emma go from there, but we are a work in progress. But that's kind of fun that we didn't have a set plan, that we can, we have a general concept. Now we're going to nail it down.
So we had our boot camp a few weeks ago after when we found out who was all accepted, and when we found out we were accepted, we had our boot camp. And I mean, I went into it not knowing what to expect, because they just kind of gave us the schedule and stuff. But it was a long but fun day for sure. So I think we all got closer that day as well.
And Sayge, what did you guys do there? What did you learn?
Yeah, so it was just super cool to know that we had been able to be in the inaugural Cowgirl Collective. And like Emma said, we had our boot camp. We were able to have a Justin rep there. They talked about just the Justin brand and what it means to wear that brand. We're super fortunate to have them as a sponsor. And we had photo shoots, we had videos, we had meetings. It was a busy, fun day, but we also got to know each other better so that we could collaborate more with our ideas and where we wanted to go further with this Cowgirl Collective.
And what an awesome opportunity. There's a lot of even rodeo queen pageants out there that don't have the means to fully set up their girls for success. So hats off to Tommy Joe and Dee Dee for planning that boot camp and getting that started and getting it all put together. But I think something that's cool is one of the things that is a very minor, I'm sure, on the long list of things that you guys get to do and serve for the next year is being like the flag girls, the flag team for the rodeo. And is that going to be hard, having not many practices together, having that experience? Talk about the logistics there.
I feel like we put it together. We had at the tryout, the in-person tryout, we had to pack flags and hit our markers and make sure that we could do spacing. And that's one of the big things that they were looking at. And so I think we all have a pretty good concept about what we need to do, where we need to be, and to be able to get the job done and look good doing it. So I don't think we'll have too much of an issue.
That's a great answer for sure, Emma. Thank you for that. And so I guess we've kind of painted the picture a little bit, but I'm genuinely curious. And Dee Dee, maybe you can answer this one the best. What exactly is the Utah Cowgirl Collective?
Oh, wow. Give me the hard one. So, basically what we are and what this is going to be is 6 dynamic cowgirls that can go out and start making a difference in the community. I mean, we really want to have an impact, whether it be doing a food drive, right? Or going into schools. We've been brainstorming some ideas and trying to narrow it down where we want to make the biggest impact. So we've talked about doing agriculture at home, going in and taking little seed kits into kids so they can learn maybe in a windowsill in their bedroom, grow something that they could understand. Doing food drives, right? Specific food drives at rodeos and special events like that. And then working with some of the 4-H kids and also going into the schools and talking to kids about the Western lifestyle and about agriculture. It's all tied in together. And then my ultimate goal is to make a facility, find a facility in the Salt Lake area where kids can go ride year round. I will die happy if we can make that happen. Oh, and I have to add something about the flag. When we were testing it out and Tommy Joe was saying, okay, he sectioned out the girls to do the flag tryouts. And I walked away going, oh God, please don't let anybody die. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. And I'm a worrywart, and I was like, I can't watch because you just, horses, right? Things happen. But everybody was amazing. Actually, it went off really good. So
Well,
I
Dee,
was,
yeah, and I'm so glad you brought that up too, because as a former rodeo queen myself, I think there's a lot of girls out there that don't get enough credit because those sponsors are important. First of all, you couldn't have a rodeo without sponsors, but then having the girls that carry the flags, there's times when time is money and you've got to get in and out of the arena and the girls are flying, sometimes they can go slow depending on the timing of the event and the rodeo and everything, but just like, well done for taking it, that serious and putting it into consideration and planning it out and seeing, what girl goes where and whose horse is going to go last because it's the least antsy and, all of the things. Hats off to you guys for planning out the details there. That's super, super important. But kind of getting more into the meat and potatoes per se of the overall idea of the Cowgirl Collective. I think you nailed it on the head, Dee Dee. But one thing I think is very worth talking about and shouting from the rooftops is that every single girl is going to get a scholarship. And once they complete their year of service, and that is awesome. I'm sure these scholarships can go towards student debt that they already have from their student loans, or, going to a college that they're getting ready to go to. Because the age range, Dee Dee, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 17 to 25.
So I think it was 17 to 26. Yes. And what we're going to do is Utah has a great 529 plan. So, and it's money we can we'll put into the 529, and they can actually invest it till they're ready. We'll give them the money. They choose where they want to invest it, and they don't have to use it for their education. They can, let's say one of them knows they're going to have a kid, they could save it and wait. They can use it to pay off debt. It doesn't have to go, it has to go to an accredited school, but they can use it to do a lot of things, whether it be a vet school or vet tech school or anything. It just has to go towards education.
Wow. And I think the number is worth mentioning there too. It's $10,000, correct?
Yes.
Wow.
Which was great. And that's exciting because they don't, $10,000 can make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, that's life changing. I mean, I'm right there in that age range right now. And if I was given 10,000, I think my jaw would drop. That's so incredible. And huge thank you to you guys for doing that, and to the sponsors that support the Cowgirl Collective, the sponsors that support the rodeo, that and believe in empowering and encouraging cowgirls, and the future of the Western industry needs to be poured into too as well. So that's really cool. And speaking of that, I'm going to kind of move on a little bit. I've got to ask each of you, because your perspectives are so different. You come from different backgrounds, different ages, all of it. What is the legacy that you guys wish to leave behind? I know Dee Dee kind of mentioned it when she was like, I would die a happy woman if there was an arena that everyone could go ride at anytime all year round. But I want to know, what's your legacy that you guys wish to leave behind once you're done with your year of service? And then Dee Dee, as you continue to build the program. So whoever wants to start, I just want to hear it all.
Okay, Emma, we're going to let you start.
Okay. Along with Dee Dee, I live here in Salt Lake County, and I've seen our 4-H horse program. When I was a junior, 8 years old, we'd be showing till 10:30 to 11:30 at night, and we had 100 plus kids in each age category. And now I'm aging out this year, and we have maybe 30 kids in each age category. So we've had a huge decrease. And in my high school journalism class, I wrote an article about keeping agriculture within our local communities and how important it is. And so I think if I can just be an advocate for that and really push it and show why we need the agriculture, I'd be happy to.
That's awesome. I love that. How about you, Sayge?
I think that's awesome what Emma said, just continuing to help grow the agriculture world. You see it kind of diminishing with all of the development going on. And so that's awesome. I think for me, I grew up rodeoing. I love the rodeo sport. I love the atmosphere that it is. And for me, I would just want to be able to tell the girls coming up that it's not really about how much money you can spend on horses. It's about the bond you have with your horse. It's about the friendships that you make, because those friendships and those bonds, that determination and that work ethic that you gain while doing that will last you a lifetime. And that's really what it's about, is becoming who you are more in depth and showing everybody more of who you are and the type of person that you can become through horsemanship rather than really just trying to focus on winning all the time. It's just who you are.
Wow, you guys are two well-rounded individuals. I think the Utah Cowgirl Collective has something going good because we've only talked to two of them and there's four others. So the future is very, very bright. And Dee Dee, from you, let's talk a little bit more about your perspective of maybe your overall goals that you want to, that you see the program going, because we don't want to talk about the legacy that you're going to leave behind because you're in this for the long haul.
Well, eventually, I would love to see us have a team so that we can take our team of girls and go to the Art of the Cowgirl and compete in the rodeo, in the ranch rodeo. So ultimately, I want a big living quarters trailer and we're all going to hit the road and we're going to go down there with the team. So, I mean, I like to dream big, right? So that would, like I said, I want these girls to leave a legacy. Everyone in the inaugural year, and this is, we talked about this, is we're setting the bar. And I want this first year to set it so high that everyone behind them has to really work hard. And I think they're going to nail it without a doubt.
I think so too. I'm already like, hey, can I move to Utah and join? No, that's awesome. You guys,
you can be the assistant trail boss.
I love it. I love it. We were talking off camera about how I was telling the girls how I thought we would be friends just based on your conversation and how you are. So I love that so much. And then because we're running out of time, we have to talk about the rodeo week is ahead. There's a lot going on. The Utah Days of 7, blah, blah, blah. The Utah Days of 47 rodeo. You guys can say that faster than I can. Tell us about all the activities that's going on there. Like, what will you guys be doing? Do you know what your schedules will look like yet? Just tell us about all of it. Sayge, do you want to start?
Sure. I know that we have a very busy, packed week. They have, I believe, Dee Dee, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a cattle drive that we'll be doing.
Yes, we have a cattle drive. And I'll just jump in. We drive from downtown Salt Lake over to the Fair Park. We have a cattle drive with the Longhorns, and I mean Longhorns. And so that people love that. We go all through downtown over the bridge. Our governor and the first lady join us on that. So that's going to be amazing. So that's how we kick off the day before the rodeo, is with the cattle drive.
Wow. And Emma, if you want to add anything else, what are you looking forward to with your schedule now as the Utah Cowgirl Collective member?
I think I'm most excited for the rodeo. I mean, I have a horse that loves, like, she's a rodeo horse through and through. If there's an announcer, music playing, and people cheering, she loves it. So just being able to watch her do her thing and like pack flags and be involved with the rodeo and see the little girls that light up when you ride past them, that's my favorite thing in the world.
And you just sparked a question that I want to ask both you and Sayge, because I know this was a struggle for me. I had really good horses that were reining, really good horses that were barrel horses. And then it was really hard to find all around horses that would be barrel horses and have the gas to go fast, but then also be brave enough, I guess, to carry the flag, because a lot of horses take a while to get used to the flag. So I want to hear your guys' perspective there really quick. What was it like getting your horses ready to pack flags for the tryouts, and then now adding the lights, the fans, everything about the rodeo? Are you nervous about your horses? Because you're going to be sending them. They're going to be going pretty quick.
My horse is pretty solid, but she's been a rodeo queen horse. She's 22 and acts like she's 5. So she just loves her job and knows her job and does it well. She does get a little antsy. I mean, her name is Kickstart. So when you kick, she starts. But I think the most thing for me is that she just gets a little antsy at the gate. So I'm like, you're okay, just calm down. But she just wants to run.
Right on. How about you, Sayge?
Kind of like Emma. I have a rodeo horse. I've rodeoed on her forever. She just loves the crowd, loves the lights, loves all the excitement. She can definitely tell when it's ready to go, and she likes to go. So it's going to be super fun to pack flags. I know some horses don't love it, but we definitely have trained ours and they love it.
And this is the horse that you're talking about, Sayge. Is that your pole horse? Your pole bending horse?
It is.
So this is the one that you were able to train then too?
I did. I've had her since she was little. She was a cutting horse and then she got in an accident and she fractured her skull and she went a little crazy. But and then I just wanted to rodeo and we didn't have anything. So I took her and I trained her and we've been very fortunate and successful in the rodeo industry.
I love that. I love a good success story there. And because we are running out of time a little bit to wrap up this podcast, I want to learn more about the rodeo and I want people to be able to follow along throughout your experience through the rodeo and then beyond throughout your whole year as the Cowgirl Collective. So now's your time. Tell us about it, where we can go to find any information. I know the rodeo is happening July 19th through 22nd and the 24th, taking that break on Sunday. I really appreciate and respect that. It's in Salt Lake City, Utah. You can go to their website and purchase tickets. But from there, let's talk about Cowgirl Collective. You guys have a website, social media, and then use this time to plug yourselves as well. I know, Sayge, you have a photography business. So whatever you guys would like to do, where can we find you, keep up with you personally, professionally, all of it?
We have social medias on Facebook and Instagram at the Utah Cowgirl Collective. And we have a website for the Utah Cowgirl Collective as well that they can follow our journey on.
Awesome. And Emma, what about you? What's your social media?
My social media, my Facebook is just Emma Stowe. And then my Instagram is Stowe_Emma. But then I also have a therapy business that you guys can follow. It's Kickstart Equine Physical Therapy.
I love that inspo from your horse. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kickstart.
She's my heart horse. So
oh, I just lost my heart horse a few Decembers ago, and that was the hardest thing I think I've ever done in my life.
That's heartbreaking.
So it is. So keep up with the Kickstart. That's awesome. Everyone will have to go follow there to keep up with her. Sayge, how about you?
Yeah. So my Facebook is just Sayge Madsen. My Instagram is Sagey June. I have a couple businesses kind of going on. I have a beading business. It's called Bead for the Brand. I have the photography business, which you mentioned. That's Bead for the Brand Photography. And I'm a nail tech. So that's Sage Brush Nails. So just kind of busy and have a lot of diversity going on.
Sage, can you share your nails with her? Show her the nails that you designed. Are they close by that you can share? I got to show you. You sent them to me last night. And they're amazing.
They're right here. Let me.
You're going to be blown away.
Well, while she's doing that, Dee Dee, how about you? How can we keep up with you?
Just call me.
If you want your number,
I am on Facebook and Instagram at Deirdre Hill. I'm not really good. I'm more of a Facebook stalker. I mean, just this time of year, it's really tough. You know, I do everything about my is usually it's just horse pictures, horse stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty boring myself. Just when it gets rodeo time, we're so focused on getting that done. But I like to follow people on Instagram and Facebook.
Right on. I love that. Okay, Sayge, let's see those nails.
Okay, I don't know if you can see these. So we have the Days of 47 logo, back numbers, because who doesn't love to support their number one?
Look, I have a back number on my finger.
Oh, yep, supporting their number one. And the Utah Cowgirl Collective's logo.
Wow, you're so talented. I had no idea.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh my goodness. If you're anywhere in the Utah area, the whole state, you guys need to go get your nails done by Sayge. You heard it here first on the Kick Your Boots Up podcast. Yep. I will have to follow your nail page to see all the talented works that you guys have done. Both of you. I'm so in awe. And I know the other four ladies, I'm bummed I don't get to speak with them, but I wish you all the very best in the future, especially this year. It will be the most rewarding, tiring, hard year of your life, but I know it'll all work out the way it's supposed to in the end. And I am so excited personally to cheer you guys on down the way, and then even Dee Dee, continue to see how the collective grows and you got what you guys are doing, the awesome things there. So congratulations to you all for starting this inaugural class and being a part of it. We at Justin are so proud and so honored to support and sponsor you guys. And we firmly believe that you guys are the future of rodeo and the future of the Western industry. And it's so bright. I'm so inspired by you guys. So continue to keep living it on and sharing your story for his glory and keep it up. Thank you guys for taking the time to